A lot of UCM students are involved in a lot of different activities. One of the most interesting, however, is Anna Glennon. Anna Glennon is a digital media production student who just recently won a world championship in jet skiing. Because jet skiing is what some would call an obscure sport, Glennon tells us how she got into competition jet ski racing.
Ever since I was little, we've had a lake house at the Lake of the Ozarks. When I was just a baby, my grandparents had a lake house there, and I always enjoyed riding around on the sit-down jet skis when I was a little baby. My grandpa would take me out, my dad would take me out, and they still tell me to this day that I would cry and whine and beg for a ride whenever I wasn't riding, and it'd be 11 o'clock at night and I'd be dragging my life jacket around and crying and whining for a ride on the Sea-Doo. And I had always just enjoyed being at the lake, and so we got more into the stand-up jet skis when I was 12. And then when I turned 16, my dad took my sister and I to a local race just to see, what we thought of it, and he had always enjoyed racing, so he took us out to see what we thought, and we saw these little kids racing that were like 12 or 13, and my sister and I just thought it was really cool to see these kids doing it, and we jokingly told my dad, we're like, oh yeah, Dad, let's do it. And then next summer he went feet first, and we started racing on some older models.
After years of practice and months of preparation, it was time for Glennon to make the travel to the World Championships in Arizona. She tells us what her mindset was and what the moment she had been dreaming for was like.
And coming into the World Championships, I was in a really good place. I usually get really, really nervous, like to the point where I feel sick, and I just never really felt nervous. I felt strong, and I felt like, it was all up to me. My team had done everything that they could. My ski was really fast. My ski was handling great. The conditions were perfect. And, I think it all just came down to me, and for whatever reason, I just felt good. And because the water had gotten rougher and rougher throughout the race, and there's this big ferry that comes by that turns out these huge rollers, it had just gotten so mixed up, and the people in the first moto that had finished ahead of me actually ended up finishing way behind me, and I managed to pass the leader in the last moments of the race. And because of that, I managed to edge out the person that would have been in second, and we ended up winning, which honestly, it felt even better than if I had just led the entire race the whole time, because I kind of proved to myself that I can push through a race and get around people and make passes and things like that, which I learned a lot from that season. And I think that, it just was finally the moment that I wanted, that I've been wanting, was to kind of show everybody, like, I can do this too.
While some would say that a world championship is about as good as you can do, Glennon tells us her next goal she wishes to accomplish in the sport.
After racing the amateur ski ladies division, I actually made the choice to move up to the expert level. So I will now be racing pro ladies, which is a very big step. A lot of those girls have been racing for much, much longer than I have. They have extremely expensive and high quality equipment. I just think that the next step for us would hopefully be to win an expert or a pro-am world championship.
What Glennon has done is impressive, and it will be very fun to see where she goes next. This has been Brock Masters, reporting for Lowdown.